What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Movement Podcast.
Welcome.
I am joined by Brooklyn. I talk about this often, and I've posted this story a few times, but Brooke is one of those psychopaths that will be in her car driving or walking to work with a coffee cup like that.
There's more psychopaths out there than you think.
So the only ones I know of so far is you and then Michelle. Also,
And Aisha, she's also my psychopath friend.
How though? Doesn't that spill?
Not when you have good balance with one hand. It's not, your coffee is an experience. I don't get that from a travel mug with a lid.
Agree.
You know,
I do agree.
It just feels different.
I do agree.
Yeah. So I've gotten good at it. I guess I just have practiced it. But you know what? Luke and I were out. Maybe we were getting the kids from the bus or walking home. And I saw 3 ladies on a walk and they all had kitchen mugs in their hand. I was like, yo, there's my people.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a picture, but I thought maybe that was a little creepy.
Yeah, maybe. With mugs, do you do you know how it like kind of opens up at the top?
Yeah.
I prefer mugs that kind of close because then it makes it like it stay
Yeah.
warmer longer.
It depends. I feel like I have about 400 mugs and I
Yeah,
need
same.
some more.
I know, I always want more mugs.
Can't have too many, but like there's certain ones, you know, like I can look in a mug and it can be really pretty, but if it's like the wrong shape, it just won't do.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
I think people are specific about their mugs. This one I love. It's like big, but not too big,
Sure.
you know, and I'll reheat it about 40 times.
Yep. No,
So,
I get that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a long enough tangent intro.
Okay.
So
We started it.
today, and we have to do our highlight of somebody.
Yes.
But before we get to there, just to let people know what we are actually talking about today, we're going to be talking about balance with training,
Slowing
down to
Slowing
speed
your
up.
roll. Yeah.
Because I think we're kind of both in that area
Yeah.
of our lives. And, you know, I don't think this is necessarily needs to be the case for everybody, but I think sometimes it's nice to have permission to be like, hey, I think you're doing too much. And if you do a little bit less, I actually don't think it's going to have a negative effect on your health. Mm-hmm. But before we dive into that, we're going to do our little highlights of a member. Do you have one?
I do.
Okay, because I have one, but I'm really hoping you don't steal mine. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Or you can go first.
No,
I
go
went
ahead.
first last time. You're not stealing my person.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Margaret?
No.
Oh, okay. So I just saw
But she's great.
Yeah, so on our...
I worked with her today.
Yes. So every Friday, Brooke does a post in our member group that's like bright spots. So like just like sort of wins from the week. And I think this was last week, Margaret shared that after a year, like over a year from January 2024, one thing she's really been working towards is getting her very first pull-up. And she got that last week. And we're not like, don't get me wrong, if you do like a little jumping pull-up, that's still amazing. Like that's, most people can't.
Strict is just
But
a
she
different
did
level.
a strict dead hang.
Yeah.
So like jumped up on the bar, then like hung, dead hang, and then pulled herself up with her chin over
So
the bar.
no momentum, all
No
strength.
momentum, all strength. Like that is
Yeah, that's
such
pretty cool.
a huge win. And the reason I want to call that out is first off, she's been working towards it for so long. So
She's
like
a hard worker.
yes, and she puts in the work. Like
Oh,
she
yeah.
does some personal training sessions, she does group sessions.
She stays after personal training to do her mobility. Like she's dedicated.
She is dedicated. I did a lot of nutrition work with her when she first started as well. And like so consistent. We always do like one thing we do is we'll get people to take pictures of their meals. And that's the one thing where people are consistent for like a week and then they fall off. She was like
Not Margaret. Right?
so consistent to the point where we were done working. And I told her, I'm like, if you want just for built-in consistency to like continue to send me pictures, you're more than welcome to do so. And she's like the only person that took me up on that. And I mean, it just shows like
Yeah.
she's seen amazing results, not only with like weight loss and fat loss, but building muscle. She's just
she's lean and strong and works so hard.
yes.
Yeah.
So good job, Margaret.
Good job, Margaret. Okay, my shout out is Lizette.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. So Lizette, how long has she been with us now? She started here in December, did 12 weeks with me in January. And she never used to like working out or the gym. And Claire brought her in and was like, you got to come. Like, you're going to love it. Now Lizette comes 5 days a week.
She comes 5 days a
Yeah.
week. She's lovely.
She's on
by the way.
unlimited.
So
she
lovely.
is great. Not just every day, but 5 days, 5:15 and 6 a.m. she's dedicated. And she's said to me multiple times, I never thought that I would be this person. Like she never envisioned herself being the one that gets up early and goes to the gym, and it has become a non-negotiable for her. And it's really cool to watch someone's journey change like that. Just come in, a little bit intimidated, so out of your comfort zone, to it being like second nature. This is what I do. Lifting heavy. She PR'd today.
I quite enjoy her. I've only coached her a handful of times.
She's great.
And the thing I really appreciate about her is she's very coachable.
Yes.
So I think there was one specific time where she had a certain amount of weight on the bar, and I'm like, hey, you're moving well, but I think we can move better. Let's take weight off of the bar. And I think a lot of times people will like struggle with that.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Like, let me do this. Is this better now? Like, just like so coachable, which is important.
Yeah, she's really strong. She's stronger than she thinks she is.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool thing to notice about people and see how they improve. Like when you can be there for someone's start of their journey, I feel like I could shout out so many people. Like I already have my next ones like lined up.
Yeah.
But seeing people when they start and being like maybe only doing the bar or not doing the bar to like back squatting 150 pounds. I'm like, yo, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when you started? Because I do.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah, she's great. So
Love it. Love it.
shout out to Lizette. And
Shout
Margaret.
out Lisette and Margaret. You guys are killing it. Okay. So slowing down to speed up. The reason that we want to talk about this today is yesterday, Brooke and I recorded like 7 different videos that are really intended for our members to give them like the basics on nutrition and lifestyle and bits like that. And one sort of topic that came up that like we're both very passionate about and got like a little heated was this whole idea of people having to slow down. And I think one thing we see a lot of is when people first join a gym, nutrition program, anything, like any sort of new thing, they're super excited and they just want to do that thing a lot. So I think with us, when a member signs up here, they're like, I want to do 78 classes a week and I'm going to follow the program to a T.
Put me on unlimited. I'm definitely coming 7 days.
100%.
Yeah.
And they go all in, and they actually do. They're consistent for the first week, and then they're super sore, and then we never see them again. So it's like we as coaches, although people think we are there to be like, yeah, you need to come to the gym today. You need to do this. You need to do more. A lot of what we actually do is like, yo, slow down. Like, I don't want you to worry about counting your macros. We're not even close to knowing what a macro is yet. Like, just taking baby steps.
Yeah, we're like we're like your pacers.
Yes.
Like help you kind of set the pace. I think it's great to come in with, all that excitement and motivation and like wanting to do it all. But yeah, I think slowing down and knowing that less is more sometimes. And yeah, we can talk about how we're kind of both in that phase right now, which is a hard one to adjust to.
It is.
Like I know multiple people, and I've told my clients sometimes they need to slow down. But now I actually need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
So it can be an adjustment, but it can be really nice. And I think we need to focus on, sometimes we're focused too much on like volume, right? I think taking a shift and focusing on intention and intensity in shorter amounts opposed to just more, right? Like it's like you don't have to work out for 2 hours. You could have a really good half-hour session. Or maybe your intention is to show up and move opposed to like, I have to do this 6 times a week or I'm failing.
Yeah. And I mean, so I think it can also be viewed in a bunch of different areas. So really quickly, before we talk about slowing down in terms of fitness, slowing down in terms of nutrition is also a thing. And it's more so like not trying to make things super complex. So slowing down and focusing on the basics. One being appetite awareness, right? Rather than worrying about counting every single macro that you're having. Well, what if we just focus on putting your fork down between bites first? Like, let's start there.
Yeah.
Now let's start with, when you're like dinner and done. So when you're done eating dinner, don't snack at 9 p.m., Isaac. It's like those little habits are going to take you so much further. Once those are dialed in, then we can start to add some complexities, but just slow down at the beginning of your journey because that's going to make sure you have that really strong foundation. So when we do start to add some complexities, you're not going to fall into old habits.
Yeah. You know what else is slowing down? Going from deficit to maintenance.
Yeah. Yep.
Which a lot of people, it's a mind fuck. And they're like, no. I'm like, yes.
Yep.
You need to. And I have a couple clients in maintenance right now who haven't put on weight. It doesn't mean it's very hard for people to be in a weight loss phase and be digging and like crushing it. And then you can't be in a deficit forever. Like that is not good. That is stress on your body. So being able to like build back up, which I guess would kind of be like slowing down, even though you're adding more in, it is slowing down. And it's really important. It's really hard for a lot of people to do, but necessary.
Yeah. And I think the next level to that is if there's a performance goal, slowing down and being okay with the fact that maybe you have to go in a surplus. So I know this is a much more niche conversation, but there's a few members that are doing like some fun high rock style events. It's like you probably don't want to be in a massive deficit trying to train for something like that. Or a lot of my runners, like if they're listening to this, they're probably rolling their eyes like, yeah, Isaac tells us to eat more carbs all the time. And that can be scary for a lot of people if they're like, well, no, it's going to make me fat. It's like, no. Your body needs that fuel right now. So being okay with eating more during different times of your life, depending on what you're training for.
Yeah.
So now from a training perspective, when we're talking about slowing down, we kind of already alluded to it, but when people first start, their first thought is like, yes, I want to come to the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. And that might work for some individuals, depending where you're at in your life. But if you've never really been consistent at the gym, don't start with 7 days a week.
No, you could start with 7 days of movement, and that might be 2 to 3 strength and walking. That's great, but not an overload like that.
Yeah.
Like you will be out for 2 weeks because you probably will not be able to move. Like depending on your training age, like when people come in and it's kind of their first time, like it feels good, it's exciting, but like you got to ease yourself into that.
Yeah. And when we say training age, just so people know, we mean like how long someone has been working out for. So even though you might be 40 years old, you might have only been working out in a gym for like 2 years. So your training age is 2 years. But yes, so that is why like when we look at the way our membership is sort of created, we don't really do drop-ins or like punch passes. We make the odd exception here or there, but we're more about membership because we know people need to be consistent with their movement. But we don't just have an unlimited membership. We have options. We have 2 times per week, 3 times per week, and unlimited. And the reason that we do that is, first off, the 3 times per week is where we think the majority of people should live. That way, if they're here 3 times a week, they can be doing other things as well. Maybe they want to do some yoga or do some Pilates work or do a spin class here or there. Same thing with the 2 times per week. Like if you're training for a marathon or you're a runner or you go to Lost Cycle, you do some Pilates stuff, but you want like 2 days of strict strength training, that could be a good place. But if you love this style of training, that's where maybe you look at the unlimited membership, but most people don't need to start there.
Yeah. Agreed.
So for us, for our training, I know
slowing down.
Yeah. Well, no, I want to ask you, I know you want to take a sip of your open cup coffee, but I didn't really realize that you were in like a slow down phase of your training.
I'm in my yin era, I'm calling it.
What does that mean?
It means I am just slowing down in less volume with my training. So I have a rest day in the middle of the week, which I haven't had in a long time. I am not in a deficit right now. So more of like maintenance with nutrition. And I am just like, I don't know, chilling out. I tend to be someone who
I can tell you're struggling with it so much.
I've had a lot of practice being like, yes, this is me right now. I always train hard in the gym. Like I will push myself. I'm not someone who's like, I don't train 7 days a week, but I would do 5 hard. And in the last program that I was doing, at the end, there'd always be like optional conditioning. And I'm like, do not give me an option in training because I will do it. I don't want to leave anything on the table. And like, to me, I'm selling myself short if I don't do the optional conditioning. So these workouts were long and they were hard and I liked it. But now my workouts are an hour-ish instead of 90 minutes. And I have the rest day and I'm just like trying to relax a little bit. I think it's important. And I'm not a high-strung person, but I like to push myself. I'm pretty chill.
You are.
I'm chill, but like with my own personal stuff, I need to go hard.
Yeah.
So I'm turning a leaf and I'm still working hard, but I'm just like taking my time, slowing down. I'm doing 4 days a week. I'm not my intensity is still there because the volume is less.
So out of the 4 days a week,
yes,
is that 4 strength sessions in the gym?
Yep.
So that doesn't include if you're doing a run or something?
No.
Okay.
No.
So, and I say all this to be like, okay, when you hear our slowing down, also understand that like Brooke and I have a pretty big training age. Like we've been in this game for a long time. So there were times we were probably training 6 or 7 days a week, or like if we're thinking of sessions completed, like doing 8 to 10 sessions a week, right? Maybe we're doing a double or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not doing doubles. Like those are off the table.
exactly. So it's like that is a big difference.
Yeah.
And the duration as well. Like you said, you're going from 90 minutes down to 60 minutes. And then anything nutrition wise, changing a little bit. I know you said you're not really in a deficit.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to eat more. Like
Are you tracking
more
or no?
fats. I am. I'd say about like 90%.
Sure.
More fats in my diet. Just more, which is hard. Not like I'm under eating, but it's hard to like eat more.
Yeah.
Like those adjustments aren't always easy, and it definitely takes like mindful action of like more on your plate or having that snack, but just still within control, just not super strict right now with amounts.
And also, just like talking about probably all the demons you're thinking of too, you're eating more and in your mind you're moving less.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, there could be some people listening to that being like, well, that's a recipe for disaster. And it's like, well, no, not necessarily. That's balance.
Yeah.
Right.
And and I am mindful. So on the days like, so say my rest days, like I will be more mindful of my carb consumption. You know, I'm not in a surplus. I'm not planning on packing on any pounds here, but just like maintenance, just chilling out and being okay with slowing down.
Are you doing this is this like just Brooke going forward?
No, this is a season.
This is a season.
Yeah, this is just a season.
Does the season have a date, or is this more of like, do you know what? I'm gonna wait and just feel it out and see how it all works.
Probably like 3 months, I'd say.
That's good.
Just kind of like chill. And and it's funny, the mental switch that I have. And I've been talking to my friend Bree about this. She's a holistic health practitioner, so I've been talking to her about some things. And you mentioned something about like having permission to slow down. And as soon as you can give yourself that permission, like actually, it's almost like a weight lifts off if you're someone who likes to push yourself.
Yes.
I was like, okay. It was like, I almost felt lighter. I was like, okay, I don't need to go the extra mile every single time. Like right now I'm not. And so it feels really good.
That is good.
But then I'm also excited for when I can like go hard again. But right now I'm just like, I like it. Yeah.
I think that's where, I mean, we say this a lot, but like coaches need coaches. You know what I mean? Because once again, I said at the very beginning, I think sometimes people just need the permission to be like, hey, you need to do less. But sometimes as a coach, we can write our own programs. Yeah, we know what a good program is and like, you know, how to get the result that we want. However, sometimes we go overboard.
Yeah.
So to have that coach being like, hey, you're doing too much. You need to slow down.
That's exactly what she said. She's like, you are doing too much.
Yeah.
You need to slow down. And then I messaged her after. I'm like, I felt like I just got permission and it had to be from someone else.
100%.
You know, like couldn't be from me.
Yeah.
And it's been really enlightening, to be honest.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think that's like, I don't know, I always bring it back to running because I think it just works well with this like slowing down thing. Slowing down even with zone 2 stuff, right? Like that's why I'm such a big fan is like it gives people permission to be like, okay, I can go slow and I trust Isaac that this isn't going to, you know, this isn't going to ruin my races or whatever. So like we understand in running, you need to go slow on the slow days so you can go hard on the hard days. And that's kind of like with your training as well.
Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about you.
I don't know if my season's as purposely slow as yours, but I think it's more of like I have the Chicago Marathon in October. And I think if anyone's ever ran a race before, the feeling when you complete the race or the week after, you're like super motivated for the next race.
Yeah.
And I've already had Chicago booked for a while. So after like going into Boston, I'm like, Chicago will probably just be another fun run. And then when I completed Boston, I'm like, ooh.
Now you want to win Chicago.
Maybe I want to really push Chicago so I can get back to Boston one day. So I'm like, okay, we're going to make this a big training cycle. Chicago is like considered a fast marathon because it's pretty flat. So I'm like, Boston's not an overly fast marathon. Chicago is. Maybe I can qualify again. But then like just really looking into things and being like, okay, we're whatever. Let's call it 15 weeks out from Chicago. Caitlin is going to have a baby pretty much any time now, right? It can be now until the next like 3 weeks or so. So that's going to be a distraction. We're in the process of selling our home. That's a distraction. I'm going to be sleep deprived. That's a distraction. Mateo's going to Caitlin's going to be off from work. Mateo's going to be like in preschool, but it's still summertime. Like that's a big distraction. So there's just a lot of things in my life. So it's like, giving myself permission that I'm probably not going to actually train as hard for Chicago as I was initially planning.
Yeah.
And just telling that to myself, I'm like, okay, now I don't need to do 6 runs a week. I can do 3 or 4, and I can still do my...
Like a reality check and just being like, okay with it. Like, this is how it's going to be, instead of like you trying to fight that.
Yeah.
It's like running, uphill. It's just like you need to get it in, but there's always resistance to it. And then you get angry, and then you get resentment to things because you can't get your run in or whatever. It's just like, accept how it is right now. And this is the season that you're in. It might be a month, might be however long.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah. So just giving myself permission to just enjoy the Chicago Marathon, which is what I did with Boston. I didn't have any intentions of running super fast. And it was just such a fun weekend going into it with that mentality. Because those big events, you kind of want to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't want to stress out the whole time of trying to like PR and do your best.
Yeah.
So, I want to do the same thing.
And I
Chicago.
think it's like nice to know that when you set these like intentions or rules for yourself or guidelines, that it's like, you're not in it forever.
Yeah.
Like if you're slowing down, or you feel like truly, I think deep down, everybody knows. Like before I was given the suggestion that I should slow down a little bit, I think deep down I knew I probably could.
Yeah.
But, and I think that you all know if you're doing too much. But like just slow down for a little bit and know that you can pick it up again. You're not going to be stuck. It's just like the ebbs and the flows of the journey. You're not going to push 365, right? There's going to be weeks or months in there that just need to be at a different pace. And I think if you can accept that and like really play into that, it will push you ahead.
Yeah. I would say the focus is sort of changing from, and we talk a lot about this as well, from fitness more to health. So, when I ran really fast, I was more fit, but I definitely know there were certain health markers that weren't ideal. So it's kind of like I want to find that balance of, still being able to run and enjoy that and do a marathon without like having to think about it, but making sure that it's not affecting my strength training or making me injured or really messing with my blood work or my heart rate or my sleep. So trying to find that balance around like my health markers now is a bit more important than like my race times, if that makes sense.
I feel like that comes with maturity and age.
100%.
Like 15 years ago, I wouldn't give a shit if I couldn't walk. I'm pushing hard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like go. Now it's like I want to be good on the inside as much as I am on the outside. And that's important. Yeah.
I actually think that's why. So I think that's one of the beautiful things about group fitness is it keeps people motivated and it's fun. It keeps people coming to the gym. However, it's also important to note that everybody has different goals. So that's one of the things I like that we do our goal reviews is because we're not going to be in the same seasons as everybody. So I work with some runners who are single and they don't have kids. And they're like, I'm in this stage of my life where I really want to push and I want to do this race really fast. And it's like, okay, then let's talk about making this custom plan for you. And this is what it should look like.
Yeah.
And then I have that mom that's like, hey, I just want to run my first marathon. I get like 3 hours of sleep a night. It's like, okay, well, your training is going to look a lot different than this person's training. So I think that's where it's important to be like, everyone kind of has this unique journey in our gym and in their lives.
Yeah. And I think too, like with our programming, because it's not like pulled out of our butt every day and just like, do what we want. Like Will programs it over 60. You're not pushing for 16 weeks.
No.
We're going through different phases. There is an intensification phase. There's one where it's going to be lighter weight and higher volume. And we kind of like guide you through that. So in a safe and progressive, smart way.
Yeah. I agree. Any other final bits?
No, just like slowing down's good. Be okay with it.
Yeah.
Enter your yin era, people.
Do it. Enter it with Brooke.
Enter it with me. It's wonderful.
Yes. Listen to your body. That's the big thing. Like if you're feeling good right now and you're pushing hard, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you're like kind of feeling tired, it is okay to slow down. And if you're scared to slow down, reach out to one of us. Like we can have a conversation. We can give you that permission to be like, you know what? I think it's time to take it easy.
Yeah. And I think one more thing I want to say that Brie had said to me, which like resonated, and I think it might resonate with other people. And like when I talk about this yin yang and like slowing down, and you don't have to think of it necessarily like these examples, but like tea over coffee, a bath over a shower, walking instead of running. Just to like, there's probably to what you're doing, 2 variations of it.
Yeah.
One's hard and one's slow. You're still sipping something hot and enjoying it, but like coffee is like strong and hard, and the tea is more like you're gonna have it with a book, right? So yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. So like, the areas where you do going hard, or you are feeling stressed, you don't necessarily need to, like, I'm not stopping working out. I'm not stopping doing these things, but I'm choosing a different version, a different path. It's still going in the same direction, but different intensity. And I liked that analogy. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay, Brooklyn. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, guys.